Flowers for spring never gets old, and this year, thanks to Miley Cyrus, they're trendier than ever. Join me and learn how to crochet these beautiful applique flowers ready to sew onto your favourite garments and accessories. For these little beauties, I'm going to be using Paintbox Yarn's Cotton Aran with a 4.5mm hook. I love an Aran weight yarn. This one is great for beginners. It's not too fine or too thick, making it easy to work with. The gorgeous free pattern by Ira Rott was designed as a sunflower coaster in solidarity with the people of Ukraine. Isn't that lovely? You could join in and also crochet yours as sunflowers or mix and match with other vibrant colours. These look so fab on garments like a pocket of a shirt. So lovely. They look amazing on canvas bags. And my favourite, and I'm very excited to show you this one, they even look great on a pair of Converses. Look how amazing that looks. And I'll be showing you how to easily sew them on as appliques later on in this video. Check out the links to the yarn and the pattern in the description below, and let's get started. So to begin, we need to make a slip knot, and my favourite way of doing the slip knot is to hold the tail on my left hand and form a loop by bringing the working side of the yarn over that tail to the left, and then bringing the working side yarn again and put it under and up through the little loop. And then I can pull it to complete the slip knot. Nice and easy, and then I can just attach it to my hook and pull the working side to adjust the loop to the hook. And to begin my pattern, I need to do 3 chains. To do this, I need to yarn over the hook and pull through the loop on my hook. That's 1 chain. And again, yarn over, pull through the loop on the hook. 2 chains. Yarn over, pull through the loop on the hook. And that's my 3 chains complete. And now we need to form a ring with these 3 chains. And to do this, we're going to do a slip stitch into the very first chain that we made. So insert your hook into that chain and yarn over and pull through the chain and the loop on your hook all at once. And there's your ring complete. Now for round 1, we're going to work into the middle of this ring. So we need to chain 1. And we need to do 6 US single crochets, which is 6 UK double crochets into the middle of this ring. So to do this, we're going to insert our hook into the middle. There should be a little hole in the middle of the ring. And then you're going to yarn over, pull up a loop from that middle, and then you're going to yarn over and pull through the 2 loops on your hook. And there's your first single crochet. So we need to do 6 of these to complete round 1. And you can work around the tail from your slip knot to avoid having to sew it in or weave it in at the end. So you need to do another 5 single crochets. So put your hook inside in the middle of that ring, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, 2 single crochets. So I'm going to continue. Three, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So to complete the round, we need to do a slip stitch into the very first single crochet that we made from the round. So we're going to insert our hook to the top of that single crochet. We're going to yarn over and pull through the stitch and the loop on your hook all at once. And there's round 1 complete. So to start round 2, we're going to chain 1, and we're actually going to add a little stitch marker here so we know where to join at the end of this round. So just to the bottom of the loop on your hook, just add that little stitch marker and just keep it to the right out of the way. And to start round 2, we need to do 2 single crochets in every stitch. So we should have 12 single crochets at the end of this round. And your first 2 single crochets will go in the same stitch we used to join from the previous round. So we're going to insert our hook through that stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the 2 loops. So there's your first single crochet, and another one in that same stitch. So I'm going to continue to do 2 single crochets in every stitch until the end. So there's my 12 single crochets, and you can double check, so you can count the little chains at the top of your single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And now to complete round 2, we need to do that slip stitch onto the very first single crochet stitch we did from this round. So we're going to, you can just remove the stitch marker. So memorize it's this stitch that you're going to slip stitch into. So remove that, and you're going to insert your hook into that stitch, yarn over and pull through the stitch and the loop on your hook all at once. And there's round 2 complete. For round 3, you're literally going to repeat what you just did for round 2. So again, you're just going to add your little stitch, nope, not add your little stitch marker, you're going to chain 1. So you have to chain 1 at the start of every round, and it doesn't count as your first single crochet. And then you're going to attach your little stitch marker again, and you're going to do 2 single crochets in every stitch, and by the end of round 3 you should have 24 single crochets or 24 stitches. So I'm going to make my first 2 single crochets into the same stitch we used for the join from the previous round. So you're going to insert your hook into that stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the 2 loops. And there's your first single crochet. So another one into that same stitch, and so on. So 2 single crochets in every stitch, and you should have 24 stitches by the end of this round. So there's my 24 stitches. I can remove my stitch marker. And you're going to make a slip stitch into the very first single crochet of the round. And there's round 3 complete. So for round 4, we're going to do it a little bit differently. So we're going to chain 1 and add our stitch marker. So for round 4, instead of doing your 2 single crochets in every stitch, we're actually going to go back to doing 1 single crochet in every stitch. So by the end of this round, you should have again 24 stitches because we haven't increased any in this round. So we're going to do 1 single crochet into the first stitch we used to join from the previous round. And single crochet in every stitch until you have 24 stitches. So there's my 24 single crochets done. And again, I can just remove my stitch marker and make a slip stitch into that very first single crochet of the round. And there's our 4 rounds complete and the middle of our flower completed. So now we need to do the petals. So we need to add our second color. So what we can do is just attach the second color onto our hook and just pull through the loop on our hook, and you've attached your second color there. So now we can just cut off the very first color and continue to do our petals. So for my petal round, I need to do 4 chains in my second color. And now I need to do a US 2 treble crochet cluster in the next stitch, which is a UK 2 double treble crochet cluster in the next stitch. So to do this, we're going to yarn over our hook twice, and we're going to insert our hook into the next stitch. So not the stitch we used to join the previous round, into the next stitch. So put your hook through that next stitch, and remember you can just crochet over the tails that you have. So just put that over the hook, and then you're going to yarn over, so the working yarn over the hook, and you're going to bring that up through the stitch, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So we're not going to go through the last 2 loops as this is a cluster. So we're going to repeat that again in the same stitch, yarn over twice. You're going to put your hook through that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and there's your cluster. And now to close this cluster, you should have 3 loops left on your hook. So you're going to yarn over and just pull through those 3 loops all at once. And there's your cluster complete. So now we need to do 4 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're going to create a slip stitch into the next stitch to finish your first petal. So put your hook through that next stitch, yarn over, and pull it through the stitch and the loop on your hook all at once to complete your first petal. So you're going to repeat what you just did with this first petal all the way around until you have 12 petals complete. So I can show you how to do the petal again one more time. So 4 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, and now a 2 treble crochet cluster in the next stitch. So yarn over your hook twice, put your hook through the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And again, yarn over your hook twice, put your hook into the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And now you should have 3 loops on your hook, and to complete the cluster, just yarn over and pull through all 3 loops all at once. And you can chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and make a slip stitch into the next stitch. Put your hook through, yarn over, pull through the stitch and the loop on your hook all at once. And there's 2 petals complete. So you're going to repeat that same pattern for the petals all the way around until you have 12 petals complete. So your last slip stitch should go into the same stitch where you joined color number 2. So just into here. So I'm going to continue to do that all the way around. So I've done my 4 chains of the last petal, and now I'm going to do a slip stitch into the stitch under where we joined our color number 2. So just in here. And now we can just finish off. So we can just cut our yarn and just pull that tail right through. To finish. So there's my little flower complete, and I can turn to the back and I need to weave in all these little ends. This is the end I created from the slip knot at the beginning of my pattern, and I actually crocheted around it in that first round, so I can just pull that end to close the little hole at the middle of the flower. And I'm actually going to secure it by weaving it back under the stitches. So I can just thread my tapestry needle and miss the last loop that it's under and go back under my stitches from round 1. Just a few of them to really secure that end. And then once you're happy with how secure it is, you can just snip that off and then continue to weave in all of your other little ends backwards and forwards through your loops to make sure it's nice and secure. And my last end that I created from finishing the very last petal, I can just bring it to the back and do the same. Backwards and forwards under a few of my stitches to secure it. once you're done, you can go ahead and steam your little flowers with your iron, and you'll be ready to stitch them on to your garments and accessories. So I'm going to be showing you how you can sew your little flowers onto a tote bag. You'll notice that my flowers actually have been sewn onto the bag in a way where it looks 3D. So I actually didn't stitch the petals down on the bag, and I quite like this effect. And you can either do this with a sewing machine or do it by hand. I'm going to show you how you can do it by hand super easily. And what I did is I just sewed along the edge, the outer edge of the middle of my flower. So just the middle of my flower has been stitched onto the bag. So what you can do is you can just pin your flower to your bag to secure it for stitching. So you can just pin it around in a few places on the petals. And then once you're happy with the placement of your flower, you're going to thread a nice and sharp sewing needle with some thread matching the middle of your flower. And you're going to want to do a double knot at the end of that. And we can start stitching a super simple straight stitch along the edge of that middle of the flower. So we can just follow right under where our petals are. You can follow that line all the way around with a straight stitch. So just put your needle from back up through the tote bag and the flower, anywhere to start, and simply do a straight stitch. So down and up all the way around, and I'm going to continue to do this until I meet my very first straight stitch. So I've met my first stitch, so I'm gonna do my very last stitch of the round and put my needle through to the back. And to secure that, I can just go over, so go under the first stitch that I made of that round a couple of times, and then I can just secure it with a knot. So go under that stitch and then put your needle through the loop and pull to make your knot. Then you can just cut that to finish. If you want to sew your flowers onto a pair of Converses like I have here, you're literally going to repeat the exact same process I did for the tote bag, but instead of sewing your straight stitch along the edge of the middle of the flower, you're just going to do your straight stitches on the petals because you want your flower to be flat on the shoe. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish my straight stitches along the petals. And I'm going to finish off the exact same way I did on my tote bag. So that's how you crochet beautiful applique flowers for spring. You can see that I've actually crocheted mine for my Converses in 2 different shades of blue, just to make it that extra fun. I want to know what you'll be sewing these gorgeous flowers onto. The possibilities are endless, so let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to us for lots more fun tutorials and guides. Happy crocheting!